Update review. God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. This is just Niflheim. I don't know why there's a trend of this happening in games recently. I think it started with Niflheim and God of War 4. Then you had those free Far Cry 6 DLCs. The ones where you play as Vass, Joseph Seed, and Pagan Min. It was basically the same. Um, I don't know if there's a proper term for it. I just call them Edge of Tomorrow games, even though I've never actually seen Edge of Tomorrow. I just assume it's kind of similar. Also, I guess you could argue that Majora's Mask is kind of like that, but I don't really know. I didn't. Anyway, so you had that. You had one in AC Valhalla, and now Ragnarok has Valhalla. Since Niflheim, I think, was already used, or maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. This is easily the best out of all of them. Like Niflheim, the Far Cry DLCs, AC, they all suck. But this one was actually quite enjoyable. Mainly because they keep a consistent story. Most of it is just, they'll give you a bit of story at the start, bit of story as you go on, but then there won't be any story until the very end. But you don't get to the end for a bit because you keep on dying, because that's the whole point. Like, you're not strong enough to beat it at the very start. You need to get some money, die, upgrade, get a bit further, and so on. Now that I think about it, the way I describe it, like, it's kind of like that game, Earn to Die. It's weird. Yeah, but it is quite enjoyable. So, you have Kratos sailing to Valhalla, like the gate. Then he forces his way in, and because he forces his way in, he's poisoned. But I had a glitch when I played it the first time. I got that up. I butchered the pronouncing of that word, but whatever. And I restarted the game, but like I turned it off and on again. But then it put me back to a cutscene. Like the first time you die, cutscene plays with Freya and all, and there's no audio for it. And went off a couple other times and went back in both times. Once again, no audio. So I realized, oh wait, I can just hit restart, like restart the entire DLC, and I don't have a problem with that because I've made basically no progress. Just annoying having to watch the cutscenes over again. But despite the fact that the story is constantly progressing, a problem with it is the fact that it's really just, you're doing the same thing. You get to a certain point, something happens, it forces you back to the start, even when I could have easily beaten the game. Because the whole thing is that you fight people, you go through a door, you do that over and over again until you fight a boss, you go through a door, you fight a bigger boss, go through another door, then you just walk for a bit, you fight a couple more bosses, then you fight Tyr. But it stops you when you get to that first boss, then it stops you when you get to the second boss, then it stops you before you even get to the other bosses, and so on. Then you have to fight Tyr like 4 times in a row. Or not in a row, but you just have to fight him 4 times. And every time you're like, okay, let's open the gates to this place. Like, this is the end of Valhalla, probably. No, I'm not ready. I can't do it. I need to fight Tyr again. That was annoying, but overall, very enjoyable DLC. Anyway, Little Voice, mixed ratings because the independent fucking suck. Like, I'm 4 out of 10 for this, really? Apple TV Plus original series to watch on Apple TV Plus. It's quite enjoyable. I mean, I haven't seen the show in a while, but it kind of reminds me of that show Carol and Tuesday, which I quite like, even though I've only seen the first episode. I really don't get why the Independent rated this 4 out of 10 when it seems something more up their alley than it is mine. Vinland Saga, universally positive ratings. According to my tracker, it's a YouTube original series, but I watched it on Netflix. I've been planning on watching this for a while. I started the first episode not long after it came out on Netflix, but I was eating my dinner, then I finished my dinner, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to finish this later. I really want to play whatever game I was playing at the time. But then I never finished it until yesterday. By yesterday, I mean 2 a.m. on Wednesday. I'm recording this on Thursday at nearly 12. He's like, oh, I'm going to watch Vinland Saga. Just put something on while I play Valhalla. So, wait. Because I was fighting Tyr the first or second time at the time. So I said, wait, let me finish this boss and then I'll join you. We'll put it on, and it ended up not being something he was going to watch while playing God of War because it was that good. We ended up watching 5 episodes in a row. We ended up going to bed at 5 in the morning. No regrets. Like, the show is amazing. Like, first, it is quite similar to the AOT. And I noticed that for the first time during the first scene where he's just slicing through people on the boats. Like, Force is totally badass, but me and Dylan sort of both knew that he wasn't the main character. So eventually, at some point, he is going to die, and he died 4 episodes in. It's like, how the fuck? Like, there's no way that For's son is going to be, like, able to live up to his dad's legacy. Because 4 episodes, we fucking love him. And this guy takes over. The show's currently on 48 episodes, so like 44 episodes of him being the main character. How are we going to end up liking him? How do people still really like the show? Like, imagine Red Dead 1. Like, in Red Dead 1, you play as John Marston for the entire game, and then you only play as Jack at the end. Imagine if John died not long into Red Dead 1, and you play as Jack for most of the game. That'd be shit. That's what I imagine Vinland Saga being like, but I don't know because we haven't seen any more yet. Anyway, Strange Planet, the show, mixed ratings, Apple TV Plus original series. Watch on Apple TV Plus, created by Nathan W. Pyle and Dan Harmon. Starring Danny Pudi, Cedric Yarborough, all the other people. I'm a bit hypocritical watching this because that's like the reason why I hate that Heartstopper show on Netflix is the fact that it's based on a webcomic. Like, I can just imagine the higher ups at Netflix having a meeting where they're like, right, we need more original content, but we have no creativity whatsoever, so let's just find something and adapt it. Well, we've got every single book ever adapted. Any book we haven't done, someone else has done it. Shit. What else can we do? Oh, why not? Let's go on Wattpad.net, find something on there, and adapt that. But I watched this, even though it's based on a webcomic as well. Like, I've read some of the webcomic before. I've seen it on my Instagram Explore page once, and I found one strip funny. And I followed the guy, and I read a couple other strips, but every other strip that I read, I did not understand. But now that I've seen the show, I understand it again. The show was quite funny. It's like an exploration of life. It's kind of like Secret Wars 2, but done better. I think there's something else that did something similar to Secret Wars 2. And I was going to say, People say this thing did it better in Secret Wars 2, but I think Secret Wars 2 did it better than this thing. I don't know what that is. Must be a show. Because that would mean that I've seen part of it, but not all of it. It's weird. I don't know.